Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Pride. Thank you all for coming out today. To kick it off, we're going to start with the national anthem. Hold on.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad sides and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you all very much. Well, once again, happy Pride, everyone. Thank you all for joining us as we kick off the 48th annual Boston Pride Week here at City Hall. My name is Sam Chambers, and I have the honor of serving as Mayor Walsh's LGBTQ liaison for the City of Boston. Thank you. I want to start off by thanking all the elected officials behind me who continue to support our LGBTQ community, so give them a hand, everyone. And I especially want to thank Mayor Walsh, who unfortunately was not able to make this year's flag raising due to a personal commitment, but he also wanted to wish everyone a happy Pride, and we look forward to seeing him at the Pride Parade next Saturday. And on an even better note, he has officially invited over 500 mayors from across the country to march with us due to them being here for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. So we are very excited for that. And a little bit about Mayor Walsh. Time and time again, this mayor has shown the entire nation what we are about here in Boston. He leads with his values, and we are proud to have him as an ally. But as we've seen this year, our nation is at a crossroads. We are being faced with a choice. Will we accept and normalize ignorance and intolerance, or will we continue to love thy neighbor and support one another? I know I speak for everyone up here when I say Boston will continue to be a safe haven for those who are marginalized, for those who just want to be who they are, and we will continue to be a city that values and supports everyone. Boston will stand strong together because, like one of my favorite sayings, we have no more tears left to cry, and we are ready to fight for our rights. Again, I want to thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for standing up for love, acceptance, and freedom. And with that, I would like to read a proclamation from the mayor. Whereas the Boston Pride Committee has been a strong advocate and supporter of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer communities throughout New England, and it's celebrating Boston Pride in the city of Boston. And whereas the city of Boston is honored to welcome members of the LGBTQ community and their allies to celebrate 48 years of Boston Pride. And whereas this theme for this year's Boston Pride is Rainbow Resistance, which is meant to recognize and support the continued fight for all identities within our very diverse community. And Boston Pride is an organization that stands with all people who are struggling for basic rights, acceptance, visibility, safety, acknowledgement, and equitability. And whereas the City of Boston would like to thank the Board of Directors, the committee chairs, and all of the volunteers for your continued support and commitment to the mission of Boston Pride over the past 48 years. Now, therefore, I, Martin J. Walsh, Mayor of the City of Boston, do hereby proclaim Friday, June 1st to Sunday, June 10th to be Boston Pride Week 2018 in the City of Boston. And I urge all of my fellow Bostonians in recognizing the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer communities and their enormous contributions to the quality of life in the City of Boston. And now I would like to bring up the president of Boston Pride, Sylvain Bruni, who I will also give the citations to celebrate all the volunteers and the Pride Committee members for all of their hard work in organizing this. So, here you go.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming for this kickoff of Pride Week. I'm here technically to speak to you about the theme for this year's Pride, which is Rainbow Resistance. And we really want everyone, am I too loud? We really want everyone to embody this theme this year when you participate in Pride. It is a call for the community to be united and to stand up, face the discriminations that many still in our community are facing. We are still 48 years later, we're still marching, we're still raising the flag, we're still fighting for visibility for our equal rights. We need everybody to be part of that fight. You've seen the divisiveness that's coming out of Washington. We can't stand for this anymore, and that's why we have a celebration. That's why we have over 50 events, all kinds of events, dance parties, we have a parade, we have a festival, we have a political forum where we talk about issues. We have a number of things for every segment of our community. And the reason we do all of this, it is because Pride is for everybody. And only when we are all united and together to resist the backwards policies that are coming out of Washington and of this White House that is currently really fighting against us and against our rights, then only then can we actually get the progress that our community deserves, get the equal rights that every single one of you here today actually deserves. So I really encourage you to embody Rainbow Resistance. Ask yourselves today and throughout the week, how can you resist and how can you be part of the celebration and show that resistance throughout Pride Week, Pride Month, all of June, this summer, and for the rest of the year. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of the representatives here, all the elected officials. Thank you to the Pride Committee for doing this work. It's a thankless job. It's a lot of work, but the fight is well worth it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to bring Governor Baker up to offer a few remarks.
So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. There you go. All right. First of all, on behalf of the mayor, it's just a joke. On behalf of the Commonwealth and on behalf of the mayor, I just want to congratulate everybody for decades of Pride Week here in the Commonwealth and in the city of Boston. Now, the last time I was here for this kind of an event, where we all got together and talked about the importance of unity and love and strength, It was in response to the events and the circumstances around Charlottesville. And I bring that up to simply point out that this is an ongoing cause. This isn't something that's going to end today or tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But as people have said many times, the arc of justice bends slowly, but it bends in the right direction. And to all those of you who've been part of this particular celebration for a very long time, I would just say to all of you, thank you for leading the charge and leading the way. And to all of those of you who are here for the first time or the second time or the third time, I would just say this is a part of Boston, this is a part of the Commonwealth, this is how we roll. And I certainly hope you all have an opportunity to take advantage of the events of this week, but most importantly, I hope you carry that message of unity and strength and pride forward always. Congratulations, enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, enjoy the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Baker. Now I'd like to bring up Martha Plaza.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just want to go through some of the highlights for this week as we launch about 50, 60 events for the week. So tonight, inaugural event, which is the family movie night, which will be at Boston Common. This is our first attempt at this event. We've got good old Ferdinand, the movie, so come on down, enjoy it. It'll start at 7:30, and as soon as it gets dark enough, we'll start the movie. Tomorrow is Pride Day at Faneuil Hall. Second time that we'll having the high heel dash. This was a wonderful event last year, so come on down and try that run on your high heels. It really is a sight to be seen. Pride Night at the Revolution, also tomorrow night. Then on Sunday we have the AIDS Walk, and then we also have the Pride Remembrance Memorial, which is going to be taking place here at the Gardens of Peace, so please join us. Monday, very important, the political forum, as we talk about the very passionate and hot topic of the transgender forum. So please come and join us at that event. Tuesday, we have the Pride Nights at the BCA, and then we jump to Thursday with the Pride Night at Fenway Park. We also have the Bear Pride. We have the Boston Dyke March, and then comes the big weekend. This city will hear a big roar. We have the festival and we have the parade. Last year, we had 331 contingencies in the parade. This year, this city will come alive with 352 contingencies. We then have the Boston Pride Festival, and we have the concert. Martha Walsh and Big Frida will be performing, and then we wrap it up on Sunday with the block parties at JP and Back Bay, and then obviously the big grand finale where we all just collapse, rest for about 5 minutes, and then we start planning on 2019. So the big grand finale will be at the Grand. Wonderful, wonderful location, so please come on down and join us. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Martha again. So Martha actually plans the parade. So she is the one that if you have not registered, you are going to have to face her wrath. And now I would like to bring up a representative from Freedom for All Massachusetts, who is one of our grand marshals.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mason Dunn. I am the proud co-chair of the Freedom for All Massachusetts campaign, as well as executive director of the Massachusetts Transgender Political Coalition. I want to quickly thank the mayor, as well as the many elected officials who came out today to celebrate the flag raising and celebrate the beginning of Pride. I am here today because of the historic and critical win we saw here in Massachusetts when we completed the work for non-discrimination protections for transgender people in public spaces. A law that was signed by Governor Baker, thank you, Governor Baker, almost exactly 2 years ago today. Sadly, that legislative win was soon undercut by our opposition, who gathered enough signatures to now put that law up for a referendum vote on the ballot this November. Make no mistake, we must win this vote in November for our community here and all those in the US who are watching us. Now, I think daily about the message that this vote is sending. I think about trans youth who will be growing up to see their identities questioned, slandered, and demonized. I think about our non-binary siblings who will see attempts to invalidate their identities and existence. I think about trans women, particularly trans women of color, who already face disproportionate levels of violence, discrimination, and bias in our world. Trans women who will be misgendered and disrespected on the fronts of our newspapers and media. Let us not forget that it is because of trans women of color that we gather here today. Because they stood up. They stood up at Compton Cafeteria, they stood up at Stonewall, they fought, they organized, and they declared no more. It is our job today and forevermore to carry that spirit forward, to declare that our communities will not tolerate a rollback on our rights, to stand in the very public places that they are trying to take from us and say, we will not be moved. We belong here. We belong in this plaza. We belong in City Hall. And we belong in the very streets that we will march on in just over 1 week. Our pride and our dignity is not up for a vote, but it will take every one of us to make sure that we win. This week we celebrate, we honor our history, we lift one another up in joy. Then, when we wash away the rainbows and the glitter on June 11th, Monday, then we get to work for our communities, for our rights, and for our future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to bring up longtime activist with the Dyke March, Jojo Giulio.
Happy Pride Week, everyone. I'm Jojo Giulio. As a lifelong LGBT activist, educator, and scholar, no doubt being elected Marshal of the 2018 Pride Parade is an enormous honor. I love this year's theme, Rainbow Resistance. I'm a theorist, so in my little theorist mind, I think intersectional resistance. I just translate it to intersectional resistance. I hear a lot of queer radicals say that the first Pride Parade was a riot. Well, that's not exactly accurate. But it is true that the 1969 Stonewall riots gave birth to the gay liberation movement, which was much more radical than some of our LGBTQ politics of today. The main tenet of the gay liberation movement was that we are all oppressed until the least of us is free. Gay liberation pointed its finger at capitalist exploitation, the fundamental linchpin of oppression in the United States. Gay liberation did not focus on single-issue legal change. It zeroed in on the ways that systems of oppression, sexism, homophobia, racism, and classism are interlocked. You cannot eliminate homophobia and transphobia without also eliminating the sexism, racism, and classism that help maintain them. The challenge with liberation politics is that the complexity of interlocking systematic oppression cannot be explained in a soundbite. As I say to my students, if oppression were easy to understand, we would have tackled it by now. Today, we use the concept of intersectionality to help people understand that addressing only one form of oppression is a strategy that helps only those with the most amount of privilege. And it leaves behind all those who experience multiple forms of intertwining oppressions. For me, rainbow resistance can only mean one thing: that those LGBTQ people with more privilege concern ourselves with the liberation of the most disadvantaged. None of us are free until all of us are free. Loving your neighbor is not enough. We must take the time to understand our neighbors that are most different from us and engage in love, care, and kindness towards them. Love to you all. Happy Pride.
Okay, that was a scripture. Now I would like to bring up Ed Ford on behalf of our Honorary Marshal, Gordon Burns, who passed away.
Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who knew Gordon Burns, you knew that he didn't sit down. He kept pushing. Why? Because seniors weren't visible here many years ago, and he dragged us with him. He came to the Pride Committee, and he told the Pride Committee, you will deal with seniors. And so we're happy to be back. If you knew Gordon, you knew how influential he could be. And even today, even though he's not here with us today, he is here with us. Thank you for honoring Gordon and taking him on the parade. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ed. We had hoped that Judith, the wife of the late and great Edie Windsor, could be here today, but unfortunately she couldn't. But there is a fantastic biography of Edie in the Pride Guide, so I hope that you will read up on her and all that she's done for our community. And with that, we are going to start and raise the flag. Again, thank you all for coming out today.